Hello everyone, it's me, Jessica. Welcome in, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to, we're already started obviously with the speed build. This is a collab speed build that I did for the Simstagram community. I was invited by the Sims 4 Addiction to do this collab, and it is we called it the Singing in Hollywood collab, but it is essentially to take a movie or a song and build something inspired by it, or to replicate it, or kind of whatever. And I absolutely just had a blast with it. So many amazing builds came out of it. Mine is inspired after the movie Ever After with Drew Barrymore. It's like a rendition of Cinderella, but she goes by the name Danielle in that movie and not Cinderella. They kind of make a joke because she was reading in the fireplace that she has like soot all over her. So they're calling her Cinder, and then I think the mother says something about Cinderella. I can't remember exactly how they play it, but it's because she's reading in the fireplace. But about this collab, I had so much fun with it. I saw a bunch of people did Taylor Swift stuff. I saw, oh my gosh, what was it? The Conjuring movie, the cabin from Tony Stark's cabin on like the lake. There were so many good builds, but honestly, one of my favorite builds was, I can't remember who did it actually, but it was the drive-in movie theater. I thought it was just so cute. It's gonna go in my legacy save file for absolute certain. I just feel like it's such a cute either like movie spot for the family or maybe a date night kind of thing. So I just think that it's so adorable and realistic. I went to the drive-in movies when I was younger, like with my dad. He had a truck and we would lay blankets out in the back of the truck. Or even I remember going on a date when I was like maybe 18 or so to the drive-ins. And I love it so much. I think that it's just so nostalgic and realistic. And they absolutely crushed it. They did such a good job. But I really just love the movie Ever After, and that is why we're here building this today. And I'm also quite late on this build. I posted this the day of the collab, which was June 30th, and I'm so behind on this speed build, but my husband had a summertime cold the last few days or so. He's feeling better actually as of yesterday, but the days before that he wasn't feeling so great. He actually called to have a COVID test done because we have not managed to get our vaccines yet, which we freaking need to, and I've been hounding him about it on our days off, but we have not made it the first priority like we should have. But we're not anti-vaxxers, not to get political or anything, but it's on our list of to-dos like ASAP. And so whenever he said that he wanted to schedule a COVID test, I was like, John, I'm always trying to adulting. But anyways, it came back negative. We're good on all that front, and it is just a summertime cold that we had dealt with. Yeah, so there's that. That's what my life has been like the last few days. So that's why this speed build is late. I've been dealing with, if you will, a man cold, because he was very grouchy, very grumpy. He is just the biggest baby whenever he's sick. So a true to man cold kind of thing, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm just, not to trash my husband. I love him so very much, but I tell him to his face that he is very grumpy whenever he's sick, and he knows it. He's like, yeah, I just want cuddles. And I'm like, I'm mom though. I can't just cuddle 24/7. I have things to do, stuff to wash, laundry, dishes, stuff. But, it's fine. That's part of life. That's part of, marriage in general. I'm all old and stuff now. My shoulder has been hurting me the last week and a half. I think I slept on it wrong, and it just hasn't recuperated. Every single day I can't reach for stuff properly. It just hurts. And I do yoga often, not every day, but I love doing yoga, so I do it often. I'll stretch my back, I stretch my shoulders and all that good stuff, and here we are, still just falling apart. But I'm turning 31 before too much longer in the month of August. It's creeping up on me, so I guess that's just 31 coming in hot. Coming in hot. But at this point, we've got basically the whole structure done. I actually think most of the landscaping is kind of taking shape. I wanted for there to be a bunch of landscaping for this house. However, that's not actually very true to my reference picture, and I'll go ahead and pop that on screen now for you guys. So you can see that the actual reference image here is very blank. There's not a whole lot of landscaping. It's up on a hill, but otherwise it's kind of bare. There's trees around it, but not necessarily any bushes or anything like that. So I definitely let the Sims 4 kind of creative liberty take over, if you will, and just added some detail, some flower boxes, some stuff to the front of the house as far as like the awnings that go over the front and the back door. But otherwise, the shell of the house, I tried to keep it very, very true to the reference image. But I think the dormers on top of the house are not actually like true to the reference. So that was again just trying to add a bit more detail. I wanted a little bit more to it. So but I absolutely love the way that this came out. I tried to really do a lot of like hints or like Easter eggs to the movie. So I guess not really Easter eggs, I feel like is not necessarily the right word there, but like inspiration, if you will. So I put like red rugs in the dining room and in the living room, which the living room is kind of more of a formal sitting room, to be more true to the time that this house would have actually existed in. There would be no televisions, so we don't have one of those. It's just kind of a sitting area where the gentleman callers would maybe come to, you know, see the stepsisters. Of course, Danielle is not allowed to have any gentleman callers. No one is basically allowed to know that she's anything more than a servant. So she definitely has no gentleman callers, if you will, as far as the stepmother is concerned. But I tried to put red throughout the house because it kind of just reminded me of the stepmother herself. So her room is the biggest room, and it is red walls, red bed, red. It's just red, and it for me, I don't really care for that color, but I feel like it's a very intense color, and that's also her. She's a very headstrong woman. She's out to, like, you know, take whatever she wants. And so also I think she wore a lot of red and green, maybe. I can't really remember, honestly. But I let green be the color for the good stepsister, the one that's nice and wears the like green horse gown. And, you know, it's like, I'm only here for the food, mother. Because, you know, that's what her mother says to her. Obviously, there's a favorite sister. So if you've seen the movie, you're fully aware of all this, that the favorite stepsister, or the bad stepsister, if you will, I let her room be like very flowery and frou-frou. She has the Realm of Magic bed, so it's very like stained glass, which would be super ornate and exotic for this time period. Getting stained glass for a bed like that would be like, I can only imagine, impossible in this day and age. Not 2021, but whatever year this is supposed to be, 1800s or so. So yeah, I just imagined that the house itself, like I tried to put a bunch of stone floors in. Cinderella's room, or Danielle's room, up on the 3rd floor, it has stone walls and stone floors. So any of the rooms that have wood floors, I imagine that it was just the stepmother wanting it to look nicer so that they could scream money. Because she, you know, she's all about their image as a family. So I imagine that that was kind of her doing. And poor Danielle, she just gets stone floors, you know. But I did also put a fireplace up there for her because she reads in the fireplace all the time. And at this point, we are actually working on the crops. I had gone into live mode so that I could have my building sim, Natalie, do all the planting of the crops. There are some begonias over next to the tea area that comes along. I just wanted it to be very, they're all summer crops first off, because that house, that movie, give me summer energy. Plus it's summer right now, so I just thought, how fun would it be to just do everything in summer? So all the plants are summer crops, except for the apple trees, I believe those are fall. But I felt like that was kind of a signature thing, because she pegs the prince and the head with apples. I think it's apples, maybe peaches. I'm not really sure. But I just felt like having an orchard was very true to like what was going on in that house. I also really wish that I could have incorporated a chicken coop with the cottage living pack that we're going to be getting. Because when, you know, Danielle goes to the palace is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word, but she goes back up there to buy back the slave that had been sold to pay debt off by the stepmother, the old man. So she goes, she saves him by buying him back, and she has like a run-in with the prince there as well. That's the second time she meets him, and she just keeps impressing him and stuff. But whenever they get back, and the stepmother is like, you know, what is he doing here? He's like, I worked off your, my debt, and they told me to go home. And she's like, okay, well, go catch a chicken or something. I thought it would be really fun to incorporate a chicken coop, but we don't have those yet, and I just decided to not build a fake shed and stuff like that. I like the way that this house is sitting on the lot. It's not too much stuff. It's not too crowded or anything. So I feel like it all fits together very well. I did also include a flower arranging table. I included a woodworking table. There is a painting easel. There is a jungle adventure grill, but it's not meant to be fancy because I imagine that it's, you know, for the workers of the family estate, and so it's not meant to be like a statement piece. So just kind of shoved in the corner by the woodworking table. Obviously the lady of the house, the stepmother, she doesn't want stuff like that around. She doesn't want for it to be like dirty and stuff. So whenever the queen comes over to have tea or anything, it has to be perfect, you know, just perfect. Sorry, I was shutting my window a moment ago. I forgot that I had cracked it to talk to my husband through the window because he was outside weed eating earlier, and now he's mowing. So I apologize if you guys could hear that at all. But this is my second time doing this voiceover. I did the entire voiceover just a bit ago and realized that I didn't plug in my headphones that actually have the microphone. I was like talking to my cheap knockoff headphones, and that's how I was recording my first voiceover. So here we are redoing it, and I have plugged in the correct headphones. I got my life together. But we're just cleaning today. It's actually Saturday. It's Saturday. I definitely had to look at my calendar. But it's just going to be a cleaning day, so I'm about to actually go out in the garden and do some hedging on our rose bush because it is just grown out of control. There are just rose branches everywhere. It's all over the place. Another detail that I did was at the very end of this, and I don't think I actually even recorded it, but I changed all of the windows to a brown swatch because I imagine that having white windows would be kind of difficult back then. You'd probably, like getting paint, acquiring paint, I feel like it would be expensive and scarce, not like the most abundant resource. I could be wrong, I don't know. I just, in my head, it made sense, but also aesthetically, I feel like it looks a lot better because the trim that I did for the roof was brown. Like the foundation has a brown trim, and the kitchen, like everything, I just did like brown floors. It just seemed like brown was really the color that I stuck with on the inside, and so I wanted to go ahead and just change those windows. Another thing about the windows is that they're like lined up how I wanted them on the outside. I felt like they looked very good there. But then on the inside, they were a little off-centered in the kitchen. So you're just gonna have to look past that and just be like, that's just because it's a very old house. That's what I'm gonna do, and we'll just have to make it work. I also put a bunch of the like night stand things around the house because I felt like that was very true to the stepmother's want and like need to look like she has money, because otherwise she sells all of the tapestries and stuff like that. So I think that, you know, some areas of the house I did decorate quite a bit, but I also didn't want to decorate it too much because the stepmother is known in the movie for selling everything, because yeah, I guess that she's hurting for money or something. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess you could assume that she's hurting for money. since it had been quite a while since the husband had passed away and all this. I don't really know how you're supposed to make your money otherwise, other than bartering, because she didn't have a job. She just existed in her gowns all day. Wouldn't that be the life? To just wear a gown all day and just get paid for it? I don't know what I'm doing wrong in life, but I'm also not really a gown person, so maybe I'm not missing out. I enjoy wearing sweats all day. But this house is on the gallery. You guys are more than welcome to change anything that you would like on it. You can, of course, do whatever. It's just kind of where I'm at. I feel like I had so many ideas for this house, and I just tried to keep it kind of reeled in and not let myself go too crazy with it. So I don't know, I hope you guys like it. My gallery ID is always listed down in the description below. I hope you guys like it. I hope you're having an awesome day. And honestly, I'm just kind of trying to talk a little bit at this point because I started my outro too quickly, but I feel like I'm forgetting something. It's fine. I'm probably not forgetting anything, but there is a tour. I didn't do screenshots, so I will go ahead and pass you guys off to the tour. Okay guys, we are here at the tour portion, and I hope that this wasn't a super long speed build. I cut a lot of the stuff out because it just, honestly, it took me a long time. I've been working on this for days, but that's how I am with bigger builds, is I like to sit down and work on them different times because you just have a fresh mind and such. So please ignore that the wood swatches are a bit different on the windows here. I feel like it's very fitting though. So to just kind of start talking about the build, I'm sure I already have quite a bit, but it is supposed to be a very old world home that I have of course made very playable for the Sims. So it is a home that is like Sims 4, but also supposed to be old worldly. So you come over here, you've got your little entrance to the side right here. I think that it's just very cute. I very much like it. I feel like I said weird things there. I don't know. My brain is just, it's doing that like too many things at once thing right now. But we've got like just the side of the house over here that you can technically, I don't actually know if they can get up this, I'm not really sure, but it's all accessible on this side. So coming through over here, we've got like rocks and all sorts of landscaping and stuff as you come up onto the front. I think that was something that's like very Sims 4 because it's not that. I'm sure I've already put a picture of the actual ever after house, and there's like no landscaping on that house. So I very much took that creative liberty to just do all this landscaping because that's what us Sims 4 freaks love, is all the plants. Give me all the plants. But as you come inside, it is very much old world again. I wanted to keep it very like, those are the jungle adventure stairs. So I know that the tone is a little off, but I feel like things like matching concrete tones and stuff like that, wood tones, wouldn't be as important in this old time because it would be harder to do, if that makes sense. So I feel like all the mismatched stuff kind of goes with the vibe and the energy. So off in here, we've got a beautiful open access to this kitchen. But I feel like this kitchen is very much like for the workers, like the ever after mom and two sisters. Obviously they do not cook. They have the few workers at the house, and Danielle in the movie, Cinderella's name is Danielle. She, Drew Barrymore, first off, I cannot. I'm obsessed with that movie, have been basically my whole life. So I'm sure I've also talked about that, but that's why we're here. But I feel like this is very much like their kitchen, their area. So it's just a bunch of cluttered nonsense, if you will, but I think that it's really cute. I like it. And then I know you guys saw off in here is the dining room. I feel like from the movie, things that I really remembered were the kitchen, which I think that they actually had a bigger island in the kitchen, which is kind of funny for old world that islands didn't really exist, because I did the table. I said it's a table with some chairs, but anyways, I figured that the dining room is like one of the key points for me in the movie. You remember Danielle bringing all the dinner and the breakfast and all that. The 2-minute egg or whatever it was that she was so adamant about. But we've got the display case back there for all the chinaware, any expensive things that she had acquired, because I feel like she's very much that type of woman. The lady of the house, I forget what her name is, but I think it's very cute. I like it. I like all the candles everywhere. We've got a chicken and plates on the wall over there, the tapestry. Like, I don't know. I hope that you guys like what we've got going on here, because I think it's pretty cute. I mean, it's definitely not my style. Obviously, you guys have seen my legacy house, and any house I play in is not really like this. But over here we have the living room, and it's very much like a formal sitting room, if you will, because TVs, I don't think that TVs were a thing. Sorry, my nose ring is all turned weird. But I don't think that TVs were a thing then, obviously. So we've just got this sitting room essentially to like fill the space in. And I think it's quite nice. I like it. I think that it kind of tells the story the way that I wanted it to. Because honestly, when I was trying to think back to the movie and everything, I was trying to think, do they ever show a living room area or a sitting area? And I don't remember them doing so. So I think that kind of does the trick. I guess we'll go ahead and poke our heads out in the backyard. Over here we have a grill and a woodworking bench. Again, I feel like they don't cook as a family, so I didn't do the grill over by like the table and a cute sitting area for the grill and stuff. I wanted to use the crappy jungle adventure grill and everything, so that it seems like it's off over on the edge here, because it's for the workers, and you know, the lady of the house cannot be bothered with having that like around. She doesn't want the workers' stuff around. She wants it off in the corner, you know. Yeah, she can't be bothered with that. But then we have some bees and some bugs, flower arranging over in the corner. Again, kind of worker stuff, but I figured it was kind of appropriate. And then we've got the sitting area here is actually something that I envision would be for having like tea time, essentially just tea, straight up like tea. That scene where they have tea with the queen, I feel like I wanted to kind of recreate something like that for them here at their house, because the tea that they have with the queen is definitely like with the queen at the palace. It's not at their home, it's at the queen's house. So that is something that like they definitely are not at the palace, but I just wanted to recreate that. So here we have Natalie Tinsley doing her thing in the garden, but I wanted the scene in the movie where Danielle Drew Barrymore, she's like in the orchard, she's picking up peaches or apples or something like that. I'm not really sure what it is, but she actually pelts the prince because he is taking their horse, and she calls him a thief, and that's how she meets the prince. She's throwing apples at him or something. So actually the apple tree, it does actually look like it's trying to pop up, which is interesting. They're not actually in season, but I just love Natalie. I need to give her a makeover. Her outfits are sketch. They are very sketch. But over here we have a little wash station. And I went ahead and I put like a little cover over it, but I wanted it to seem very dingy and like it's not that fancy. So that would be why I did it with like just pillars and a roof, as I just didn't want it to seem super fancy, because the lady of the house is not going to spend a lot of money on the clothes washing station, but that way, as far as like realistic gameplay goes, they will actually be able to dry the clothes, because it rains a lot in Windenburg and I was having some problems drying clothes. It seemed like they were going to stay wet forever. But here's the back of the house. And I just, to be honest with you guys, I was like, I am using some corbels. The Devon Bumpkin came shining out of me, and all of the videos that I've watched of him using corbels, I was like, I would be stupid not to. So I made that top bit of the roof a little bit bigger on the 3rd floor so that I could implement the corbels. And there's like 8, 4 on the front and 4 on the back. But hey, I got some corbels in there, and that's all that matters, because I almost did not, and I thought that would be such a shame. Devon Bumpkin would be so not proud of me. He's like the king of building, and especially the king of this style. Even though it's not like his style, he is so good at building this style of stuff. It's stupid. But when you come up here, you've got a little rooster on the wall, you've got some runners. I wasn't really sure, like the rugs, I feel like they're kind of random, but I just didn't know what to do here. You've got the knight in shining armor over here who's trying to protect the ladies from everything. And then I guess we'll start over here, which this is the room that I have designed with the blonde sister in mind. The sister who is meant to marry the prince, the favorite sister, if you will, of the lady of the house. I don't know what her name is, but like the stepmother, she has her favorite daughter, and so I feel like this is the favorite daughter's room. She has a very fancy bed. It's very crowded in here. I think everything is play tested. I tried to make sure my sim could walk all over the house. I used all the beds, so I'm pretty sure everything works. But yeah, I think it's very cute. Very simple. We've got the roses on the wall over here, and it's just very simple. So I don't know. I hope you guys like it. I feel like it kind of tells the story of the favorite sister, very cutesy. And then off in here is the other stepsister, if you will. But because I love her so much, I actually don't think I gave her a single picture on the wall. However, I did give her like really cute stuff everywhere. She actually has a desk, which I don't think is functioning because I put something on it. But if you wanted to download this house, you could change that. I almost put a computer there, but I fought the urge because obviously it is an old world house, if you will, so it doesn't really make sense to have a computer. But yeah, I love it. I freaking love her room. I think it is adorable. I love the side table. I just feel like I wanted for it to kind of tell her story, and because she wears a like green dress to, yeah, she wears the green horse outfit to the whole ball at the end of the movie. So I did the green for her room after that dress that she wore, because I love her. I love her so much. I'm only here for the food, mother. And then this is the bathroom that is between the two sisters' rooms. It's a Jack and Jill, if you will. Very skimpy in here, just a standing shower and a toilet, but it does get the trick done. And then off over here, we have the mother's room. I love mother's room. It's very red, but I feel like red is like rich and royal. Something about it is just very like magnanimous to me. And so I felt like that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So we've got the makeup corner. So that way the girls can all come over here. They can get ready for their balls and their afternoons out and stuff like that, with this fancy little mirror setup that they have. And then we've got some like random pictures on the wall. I just thought they're like maybe portraits. I don't know. It's not that deep. I felt like it just told some part of the story. But this fancy vampire's armoire here, yes, thank you. Love it. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I feel like it's very cute in here. Very much tells the story of the mother, in my opinion. Also, is this maybe Cinderella's father? He died of a heart attack whenever he came home with stepmom. But yeah, this is the bathroom. The bathroom that everyone would share that has an actual bathtub. There is the second toilet in here, and then there is a ladder. Yes, the ladder does go where you think it would go, up into Cinderella's room. So I honestly, oh, the camera, okay, so the camera's going to be very interesting up here. But I very much love this space. I feel like it is telling the story I wanted it to. I really struggled with the bed choice here, so if you don't like it, I'm probably with you. I tried so many different beds, and I was just, I don't know, I wanted it to be like a kind of a dingy bed, but I just was struggling with the color choices. I really like some of the more expensive beds, and so I think I struggled to use anything except for them. And then honestly, I would like to have her come up here and light this. So I'm gonna tell her to get her little booty on up here. And then this is the other side of the room here. Essentially, I just wanted it to be like Cinderella could come up here and she just reads. I did put a knitting basket up here. And then the crates off in the corner, I just felt like they kind of were maybe some of her father's valuables, the stuff that her mother like left behind for her, just some of that kind of stuff. Oh gosh, my daughter just woke up, you guys. She's gonna come straight for the camera. Okay, well, we're gonna get this lit. Hi, baby. She was taking a nap and we apparently did not shut her room off. Okay, I'm pretty much done with this anyways. I'm just trying to get this shot here with the fireplace. I wanted the fireplace to be lit. Okay guys, well, thank you so much for stopping in. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. If you do want this, it will be on my gallery. My daughter is going to tear down my camera. So thank you so much for stopping by. I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.